No contact is weak. Do this instead and watch her crumble. Dark psychology, modern Stoic. A lion doesn't concern himself with the opinion of sheep. Tywin Lannister. What if I told you that going no contact is actually the weakest move you can make? Most men assume that by cutting her off, by vanishing into thin air, she'll be consumed with regret, scrambling to fix what's broken. But ask yourself this: have you ever seen a man of true power begging for acknowledgement? Have you ever seen a king retreat in silence, hoping someone misses him? Number. Because power isn't in avoidance, it's in dominance. No contact is just disguised weakness, an empty gesture, hoping she'll notice your absence. But a woman who was willing to walk away isn't going to crumble just because you stopped texting. She's seen this game before. What she hasn't seen is the version of you that doesn't need her validation. The man who doesn't just disappear, but evolves into someone she can never replace. You don't make her regret leaving by going ghost. You make her regret it by becoming something beyond her reach, by rising so high that the idea of coming back to you feels like a privilege she lost. And that's exactly what I'm about to show you. Like this video, subscribe, and drop a comment below. Power isn't in silence, it's in control. Now let's begin. Number 1. The Stoic mindset. A man who masters his emotions masters his life. This is the foundation of the modern Stoic mindset. Weak men believe power lies in reacting, whether through anger, desperation, or cold detachment. But true strength is found in unwavering emotional control. The moment you let her see your pain, your frustration, or your longing, you've already lost. A man who reacts is a man who is controlled. A man who observes and remains unshaken is the one who holds the power. Most men fail because they mistake emotional suppression for emotional mastery. They believe cutting her off or acting indifferent will make her regret leaving. But that's not how dark psychology works. The moment you feign indifference while obsessively checking your phone, you're exposing weakness. Real indifference, the kind that unsettles her, that makes her question everything, is born from genuine detachment. She expected a reaction from you. She anticipated your anger, your sadness, your desperate attempts to win her back. That's what most men do, and it validates her importance. But what she never expected, what she cannot comprehend, is complete silence. Not the silence of a man suffering in the shadows, but the silence of a man so composed, so self-contained, that her absence is irrelevant. This is where the psychological shift begins. Women don't regret leaving a man who reacts. They regret leaving a man who doesn't need them. When you stop chasing, stop pleading, and refuse to play into her expectations, her perception of you changes. The moment she realizes you haven't reached out, haven't fought for her, haven't crumbled under the weight of her departure, doubt begins to creep into her mind. She thought she had power over you, but now she's questioning, did I ever have an impact on him at all? That doubt, that uncertainty, is what makes her mind spiral. It's not about punishing her. It's about elevating yourself beyond the need for her validation. This is the essence of modern Stoicism. It's not about pretending to be unaffected. It's about truly reaching a point where nothing external shakes your core. A Stoic man is not broken by loss. He adapts, he refocuses, he channels his energy into himself. While she wonders if she ever mattered, you are building, improving, and thriving. You see, a woman's deepest regret doesn't come from a man's anger. It comes from realizing she walked away from a man who refused to fall apart. Marcus Aurelius once said, You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. This is the modern Stoic way. You are not at the mercy of her actions, her decisions, or her absence. You are immovable, untouchable, a force of your own making. And that is what truly makes her crumble. Not your pain, not your retaliation, but your ability to rise without her. Number 2. The dark psychology of reverse attraction. Attraction isn't about love, it's about power, and power thrives on uncertainty. The moment a woman is absolutely sure she has you, the spark begins to fade. But when she starts questioning where she stands with you, when her mind lingers in uncertainty, that's when obsession takes root. Most men make the fatal mistake of believing attraction is built through devotion, through showering her with attention, and constantly reaffirming their love. They assume that by making their feelings unmistakably clear, they will solidify their place in her heart. But reality functions differently. Certainty breeds complacency, and human nature is drawn to what feels just out of reach. This is one of the greatest Stoic lessons. Control is an illusion, and the man who masters himself, rather than others, is the one who ultimately holds the power. Women don't desire men who are predictable, men whose emotions are an open book. They are drawn to mystery, to men who possess depth, who remain present yet distant, available yet unreachable. The mind is wired to chase what it cannot fully grasp, and the more she wonders about you, the more she invests in you emotionally. When she left, she assumed she had all the control. She thought she could move on, certain that you'd be waiting, easy to read, predictable. But what happens when you aren't? What if, instead of resorting to the typical no-contact approach, you became something else entirely, an enigma, a puzzle she cannot solve? Imagine this. Instead of disappearing, you remain subtly visible, but transformed. Instead of reacting emotionally, you maintain an unshakable calm, embodying the blessing of Stoicism. Your presence isn't desperate, it's intriguing. Perhaps it's through mutual friends, through social media, or a chance encounter. She sees a shift. You are no longer the man she once knew. You don't engage in petty games, nor do you chase. Instead, you evolve. Your focus shifts entirely inward, on building yourself, refining your mind, strengthening your discipline. You embrace the core principle of modern Stoicism. True power lies in mastering oneself, in remaining unfazed, in becoming the rock against which the storm of emotions crashes, but never breaks. And that's when the doubt begins to creep in. She doesn't regret losing a man who waits for her. She regrets losing a man she miscalculated. The moment she senses she no longer has influence over you is the moment she begins to question herself. She starts wondering if she made a mistake, if she underestimated your value. Attraction is not about being wanted, it's about being valued. And value is not dictated by how much you give. It's determined by how much is at risk of being lost. A man who embraces Stoicism understands this deeply. He doesn't react. He remains composed. He doesn't seek validation. He cultivates it within himself. He doesn't beg for attention. He commands it effortlessly by becoming the kind of man who cannot be ignored. This is the essence of reverse attraction. You don't win by proving your worth. You win by becoming the kind of man whose worth is undeniable. Not through words, not through gestures, but through presence, through action, through an unshakable sense of self. The more she tries to figure you out, the more she finds herself entangled in the very emotions she thought she had control over. And that is when the dynamic shifts. You are no longer the man waiting for her decision. You become the man she fears losing forever. Number 3. Be the man she can never replace. You don't win by getting her back. You don't win by making her jealous. You win by becoming a man so rare, so valuable, so irreplaceable that she spends the rest of her life searching for what she lost and never finds it. That's the real power. Not in revenge, not in proving a point, but in being the man she will never have again. Women don't regret losing just any man. They regret losing a man who stands above the rest, a man whose presence was a privilege, not a given. And here's where most men fail. They think being a good guy, being loyal, being loving, is enough to make a woman stay. But loyalty without value is forgettable. Affection without self-respect is weak. If you want to be the man she never forgets, you must become the man she cannot replace. How do you do that? By becoming a man of purpose, a man so focused on his mission that no woman ever holds more power than his vision. By building a life so extraordinary that any woman who walks away from it feels the loss, not you. Because the truth is, a woman can replace attention, she can replace comfort, but she can never replace a man who is constantly evolving, constantly building, constantly rising. So let her go. Let her wonder. Let her feel the weight of losing you, not because you tried to make her, but because your absence is more powerful than your presence ever was. The ultimate power move isn't hoping she comes back. It's becoming so untouchable, so magnetic, so valuable that she has no choice but to regret, and you have no choice but to not care. You are the prize. And the moment you truly believe, that is the moment you become irreplaceable. Like this video, subscribe and comment below. I am irreplaceable. Number 4. The psychological power of social proof. A modern Stoic understands that perception shapes reality, and when it comes to attraction, social proof is one of the most powerful forces at play. Women don't desire a man who stands alone in obscurity. They want a man who is desired, respected, and in demand. This is the foundation of modern Stoicism in relationships: mastering your presence, cultivating an aura of value, and allowing others to recognize your worth without seeking validation. If she sees other women intrigued by you, if she hears whispers of your success, if she notices that you are leveling up, something shifts in her mind. Suddenly, doubt creeps in. She once believed she had you figured out, that leaving you was the right choice. But when she witnesses you thriving, not isolated, not desperate, but standing tall and surrounded by attention, her certainty begins to unravel. She starts to wonder, did I overlook something? Did I walk away from something valuable? This is where most men fail. They retreat into silence, embracing the weak strategy of no contact, hoping she will wake up one day and realize her mistake. But that's not how human psychology works. Women don't regret losing a man who disappears. They regret losing a man who becomes a prize. A high-value man doesn't fade into the background. He becomes undeniable. You don't need to reach out, beg, or plead for her attention. Instead, you need to be seen. Not through arrogance, but through quiet confidence, effortless magnetism, and a strong presence that speaks louder than words. Maybe she stumbles upon your social media and sees you exuding confidence. Maybe mutual friends mention your name in admiration. Or maybe she runs into you and notices a man transformed, your body language stronger, your demeanor more self-assured, your energy commanding respect. Every interaction, every glance, every subtle cue sends a message. I am not the man you left. I am a man of value. This is why modern Stoicism teaches that a high-value man is never alone for long. He doesn't isolate himself. He expands his network, deepens his social connections, and places himself in environments that radiate status and success. Whether it's attending exclusive gatherings, engaging with like-minded individuals, or simply moving with purpose, he ensures that his presence is felt. The more she sees others recognizing your worth, the more she begins to question her own decisions. Because deep down, no woman wants to feel like she discarded a man who became a treasure in someone else's arms. Marcus Aurelius once said, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." Shift your mindset. Stop being invisible. Make her see your value without chasing, without pleading, without saying a single word. The moment you embody the essence of a modern Stoic, a man of disciplined presence and unwavering confidence, is the moment she realizes what she lost. Now, the choice is no longer yours to make, it's hers to regret. If this resonates with you, like this video, subscribe, and comment below. I attract effortlessly. Number 5. Strategic coldness. Not no contact, but indifference. No contact is predictable. She expects it. She assumes you'll either vanish entirely or come crawling back, confirming her hold over you. But when you master the blessing of Stoicism, you understand that power lies not in reacting, but in controlling the frame. A Stoic man does not chase, nor does he sulk in silence. Instead, he embodies a state of detached presence, a living paradox that forces her to reevaluate everything she thought she knew about you. She walked away? Fine. She did not break you. She freed you. She did not diminish your value. She revealed her own miscalculation. Imagine this. She reaches out with a casual message, a sudden like on your post, or a vague excuse to reopen communication. The average man makes one of two mistakes, either ignoring her outright, which is obvious and weak, or responding too eagerly, which hands her control on a silver platter. The Stoic man chooses neither. Instead, he replies with strategic coldness, short, direct, and emotionally unreadable. He is neither dismissive nor enthusiastic. He acknowledges, but never indulges. He does not ask how she has been, because that question betrays interest. He does not rush to reply because urgency signals neediness. His responses are calm, measured, and delayed, not out of manipulation, but because his world is full, his mind unshaken. He applies Stoic lessons not just to relationships, but to all aspects of life. He is the master of his emotions, not their slave. This kind of indifference shatters her certainty. Women expect emotional reactions, anger, desperation, pleading. But what happens when she is met with a man who remains unmoved? A man who does not show loss, does not express regret, does not flinch. It destabilizes her sense of control. She begins to question. Did he ever care at all? Has he truly moved on? This uncertainty breeds curiosity, and curiosity soon turns into frustration. Frustration morphs into obsession. This is not manipulation. It is the natural outcome of a man who understands his own worth. He does not seek validation because his confidence is internal. He does not seek revenge because his detachment is the ultimate power move. This is the core of Stoicism, the ability to remain composed, unbothered, and entirely in control of your own emotional state. Men who practice this form of strategic coldness are not playing games. They are living by a higher standard, one that women instinctively respect. The blessing of Stoicism is that it allows you to detach from outcome, making you a man who is genuinely hard to shake. You become the mystery she cannot solve, the challenge she did not expect, the enigma that pulls her in without effort. She thought she had figured you out, but now she is second-guessing herself. That alone is power. That alone is the kind of silent dominance that makes a man unforgettable. So remain unreadable, remain emotionally untouchable, and watch as the dynamic shifts in ways she never saw coming. Like this video, subscribe and comment below. I am untouchable. Number 6. Rebuilding your value. Weak men wait, strong men evolve. If you think cutting contact and hoping she notices your absence is enough, you're already losing. No contact is weak when it's done from a place of desperation. You don't disappear to make her miss you. You disappear to become unrecognizable. The biggest mistake a man can make after a breakup is remaining the same. If you stay the same man she left, you validate her decision. But if you elevate, if you transform into a force she never saw coming, you make her question everything. Marcus Aurelius once said, "Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one." That is your mission now. Right now, she thinks she knows your value. She believes she's seen all you have to offer, and that's where she is wrong. Because the man she left, he's already dead. You are a man of the Stoic life, and in the words of the Stoics, a gem cannot be polished without friction, nor a man perfected without trials. This is your friction. Use it. Imagine this. Months pass, and she casually checks up on you. Maybe through mutual friends, maybe scrolling late at night. But instead of finding a man clinging to the past, she sees something she never expected. A man sharper, more confident, and walking with an untouchable presence. A man whose ambition is relentless. A man whose entire energy commands attention. And in that moment, regret doesn't come from missing you. It comes from realizing she can never have you again. Regret isn't about nostalgia. It's about loss, real, permanent loss. The loss of a man who has rebuilt himself into something she can't reach. Your evolution must be undeniable. Your presence must be overwhelming. Not just in looks, but in your discipline, your wealth, your mindset, your entire essence. When she looks back, she must see a ghost of the man she once knew, because you are no longer him. The moment she realizes you've outgrown her, she feels the weight of her mistake. And that's when the power shifts. You don't chase. You outgrow. You don't wait. You rise. The modern Stoic doesn't beg for love. He commands respect. Your silence isn't a tactic. It's a warning. Your transformation isn't for her. It's for the man in the mirror. The stronger you become, the less you care about who left. Because while she's stuck looking back, you're already miles ahead. And when the day comes that she realizes what she lost, you won't even hear about it, because you'll be too busy winning. Like this video, subscribe, and comment below. I outgrow, I don't chase. Number 7. The power of walking away and meaning it. The strongest move a man can make isn't just silence, nor is it a passive display of being unbothered. It is the unwavering act of walking away and truly meaning it. Not as a ploy, not as a test, but as an unshakable declaration of self-worth. A modern Stoic understands that his value is not dependent on external validation, and he does not cling to what does not serve his peace. The blessing of Stoicism teaches that true strength lies in self-mastery, in detachment from things that seek to disturb our tranquility. No woman, no situation, no loss should have the power to shake a man who genuinely understands his worth. Here's the cold, hard truth. Most women are accustomed to men who linger, who hover like shadows, waiting for the slightest hint of approval. They expect you to be readily available the moment they reconsider, and it is precisely this predictability that breeds disrespect. When a man truly detaches, when he walks away with certainty without hesitation or second-guessing, something shifts within her mind. Suddenly she realizes she miscalculated. She expected you to wait, to hold on, to check in. But when you disappear without hesitation, she is left with nothing but silence, and silence is deafening. Many men claim to walk away, but in reality they are merely pretending. They cut contact, but secretly hope for a message, a like, a sign of reconsideration. They say they've moved on, but remain emotionally tethered, analyzing every post, every interaction, every possibility of a return. Women can sense this energy. They can feel it in the hesitation, in the unspoken longing. But when you reach the point where you genuinely do not care, when her absence no longer affects your peace, that's when she feels it. And that's when the power truly shifts. Imagine this. She sends a casual message, tests the waters with a subtle attempt to gauge your reaction. Most men would either ignore it in an attempt to appear strong or respond eagerly, revealing their lingering attachment. But the man who embodies Stoic lessons, the man who has embraced true detachment, does something entirely different. He responds with calm indifference, polite, short, without seeking anything in return. No emotion, no excitement, no longing. Just a simple response from a man who has already moved forward. In that moment, she realizes something unfamiliar. Where she once held influence, there is now emptiness. Where she once commanded attention, there is now nothing. And that absence is more powerful than any words you could ever say. She does not feel regret because she misses you. She feels it because she no longer has control over you. That is the moment her power dissolves, and yours is solidified. The man who walks away without looking back is the man who is always remembered. Never let a woman believe that she is the center of your world. Never let her think that her presence or absence has the power to break you. You are the prize. A man who understands this, who truly believes it, is a man who becomes irreplaceable. In every aspect of life, from relationships to business to personal growth, the principle remains the same. The one who values himself above all else is the one who commands respect. This is the essence of modern Stoicism, the blessing of Stoicism that grants you the strength to master your emotions and rise above external circumstances. So walk away, not to play a game, but because you have already won. Like this video, subscribe, and comment below. I walk away like a king. Number 8. The art of making her chase you. A woman only chases what she fears losing. The moment she believes she has you completely, her attraction fades, and she begins to take you for granted. But when you introduce scarcity, when you subtly shift the dynamic so she feels like she is the one at risk of being left behind, the game changes entirely. This taps into a fundamental psychological principle. People value what is slipping away more than what is easily available. As the Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher Marcus Aurelius once said, "The more we value things outside our control, the less control we have." Most men fail at this because they either chase too aggressively, overwhelming her with attention, or they withdraw too drastically, appearing bitter and disconnected. Both extremes make it easy for her to categorize you, either as someone desperate for her validation or as someone emotionally unavailable and easy to discard. The modern Stoic understands that true power lies in balance, in maintaining the kind of presence that is felt but not easily grasped. A man who is hard to define, who creates intrigue without being distant, is the man who occupies her mind the longest. But how do you become that man? It all comes down to controlling the rhythm of interaction. When she reaches out, you don't ignore her. That would signal bitterness or weakness. But you also don't prioritize her above your own mission. You respond on your time, with unwavering confidence and emotional detachment, demonstrating that your world does not revolve around her approval. This alone disrupts her expectations. She anticipates either excessive pursuit or complete withdrawal, but instead, she finds herself in a psychological limbo, questioning why she doesn't have your full attention. This mental friction is powerful because it triggers a deep-rooted fear, the fear of losing something valuable without closure. As Robert Greene states in The Art of Seduction, the greatest mistake in seduction is being too nice. The second greatest mistake is being too distant. The seducer must play between these two extremes. Unpredictability is your greatest asset. Never give her complete certainty. If she begins to show interest, don't immediately reward it. Instead, maintain the tension, keep the balance, and remain the one who dictates the pace of the interaction. This is not about manipulation. It is about understanding the laws of attraction and human nature. The modern Stoic does not react emotionally. He observes, he calculates, and he controls his own frame with unwavering composure. When you master this, you shift the power dynamic. Suddenly, she is the one who needs to win you back. And here is the ultimate truth. Desire is fueled by investment. The more she has to work to regain your attention, the more she convinces herself that you are worth pursuing. This is the art of making her chase you. Not through force, not through games, but through controlled presence and strategic detachment. Like this video, subscribe and comment below. I am the hunter, not the hunted. Number 9. The silent revenge. No contact is weak because it's passive. It's waiting, hoping, lingering in silence, thinking she'll notice your absence and come running back. But a true Stoic, a man who walks the path of Marcus Aurelius, understands that power is not in absence. Power is in transformation. The greatest revenge is not anger. It's not proving a point. It's not even making her miss you. The greatest revenge is becoming so unshakable, so undeniably successful, that she is forced to watch, regret, and crumble under the weight of her own choices. She expected you to fade, to disappear into the shadows, to settle for a mediocre life. But she never expected you to rise. She never expected to see a man so disciplined, so evolved, so untouchable, that he haunts her without saying a word. Imagine this. She's scrolling through social media, thinking nothing of you, until she sees you. Stronger, sharper, in better shape than ever. A man of high value, building his empire surrounded by power, purpose, and people who respect him. In that moment, she feels something she never thought she would. Envy, regret. The sting of losing a man she can never replace. This is why the Stoics never seek validation. Marcus Aurelius once said, "Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one." The second you try to prove your worth, you've already lost. You are not here to make her see what she lost. You are here to build a life so powerful that her opinion becomes irrelevant. And that is what truly breaks her. Because when she realizes she once had access to something rare and let it slip through her fingers, that's when she feels the loss. But by then, it's too late, because the man she knew no longer exists. He evolved. He mastered himself. He became a force, and nothing is more haunting than knowing you once had something great, but can never have it again. So stop waiting, stop hoping, stop playing weak games, focus on your growth, master your emotions, build yourself into a man so valuable that your silence is deafening. Success is silent, power is unshakable. A real man doesn't need to announce his worth, the world just knows. Now, if you understand this truth, comment below. My success speaks louder than words. Like the video, subscribe, and claim your power. All right, my friend, if you've made it to this point, you've already taken a step most men never do. You've woken up. You've realized that your value was never in her hands, never in the past, and never in anyone's validation. Listen, this isn't about no contact. It's not about playing mind games. It's about you becoming the kind of man who doesn't even need to think about what she's doing or if she regrets it. Because the second you shift your focus away from her and onto yourself, you win. Weak men react, strong men rebuild, and the strongest men, they don't look back. They evolve. They rise so high that the past becomes irrelevant. So here's the truth. Your power has been in you all along. Not in silence, not in waiting, but in action. In becoming the man who walks forward, eyes locked on his own greatness, while she watches from a distance, realizing she lost something she'll never find again. Now, if this hit home for you, do something about it. Like the video, subscribe, turn on notifications, because this is just the beginning. And before you go, drop a comment below. I control my destiny. Go build yourself. The world is yours.